Hello, my beautiful friends. I am Laurel, Bleadon-Maffei with Illuminating Souls, welcoming you to this episode of Sleepy Bedtime Blessings, a podcast designed to help you rest, relax, and fall asleep, all while deepening in your connection with your beautiful team of angels who love you so. If we're meeting for the first time, let me introduce myself. I am an angelic practitioner, a spiritual teacher, and encourager of souls. I have the most wonderful job. I love what I do. I offer one-on-one angel sessions, which take place over the phone. I also offer a longer form of support, soul mentoring. And then I'm always offering classes, something new every 6 weeks or so, that'll inspire your spirit. So if you want to learn more about my offerings, I invite you to visit me at my website, illuminatingsouls.com, where you can sign up for my mailing list. There are 2 different lists you can sign up for. The one at the top of my page will sign you up just for my regular mailing list, and you'll hear about everything I've got going on. And then further down is the daily inspiration email blast, and if you sign up for that, you'll receive an inspiring email from me every weekday. I also post regularly over on Facebook, although I don't know how many people see it. I mean, I know people see it, but Facebook is a little stingy with views, so if you have in the past liked my Facebook page and you don't see any of my content, just know that I post there every day. So maybe go visit the page if you are so inclined and like or comment on a post so that mysterious Facebook algorithm will know that you would actually like to see my content. But for now, the angels and I are here to co-create this beautiful, sweet oasis of light and love for you. So this podcast is inspired by 2 of my favorite forms of self-care, the angels and listening to a sleep podcast. I listen to a sleep podcast every night to help me drift off to sleep. So here we are. This is going to be my 231st episode that I've posted, and maybe I've recorded a total of 220 because I have done some replays. But that's a lot of content. I'm proud of myself for sticking with it. And I also find that my own podcast helps me fall asleep, so I'm grateful for that. So there are different ways you can use this podcast. I know many of you listen during your waking hours, so I get to keep you company as you go about your day or your evening. And for those of you that would like to use this as a sleep podcast, here's my suggestion. To curl up in bed and get cozy in whatever way works best for you, or wherever you sleep. If you sleep in a bed or a futon or the couch or a chair, everybody has a different sleep style. And do your best to get cozy, whatever that means for you. For me, it's lots of pillows and blankets. And then I turn the volume down lower than I would if I were listening to an audiobook, because I want to have to reach a little bit for the narrative versus it being loud and demanding my attention. And then I use a sleep timer. For me, I am typically out in about 45 minutes. So I set my sleep timer for anywhere between 45 minutes or an hour. Each of these episodes runs about an hour. And that's my preference as a listener. But if you need more content than that, you can always set up a playlist on your favorite podcast app. And I have designed these broadcasts so that the sound quality, the timbre of my voice, the tempo it stays the same. So if you wanted to set up a playlist, there's no loud music or transition between episodes. So you should be able to listen to back episodes without a disruption of something that might wake you up. So if you notice during the introduction, the music is really low underneath the introduction. So low it's really hard to hear. But I did that on purpose. So if you do want to play back-to-back episodes, there isn't a startling transition between the end of one episode and the beginning of another. I think our sleep is very precious, especially if you are someone for whom sleep can be elusive. So I am honored to keep you company whenever it is that you are listening to this. As I record it, it is early morning, and it's still dark out, but it's the time of year that by the time I'm done recording this episode, the sun will have risen. I just think that's really cool. I know the sun comes up every day, but I love being awake at this time and experiencing the transition between the dark and the light, the dawn of a new day. And I know you're probably going to sleep, so I'll wax poetic about that. I love the end of the day. I have a wonderful life. Yesterday, I did quite a few angel sessions, more than I would normally do. I taught a class, so I had a really busy day. And I loved my day. I loved everything I got to do. And when it was over, oh, I loved that too. I was like, I have lived a good day here on planet Earth. I'm going to have some dinner and sit down with my husband and just hang out. And then I love bedtime. I'm somebody, I've always loved bedtime. So I love getting ready for bed. Not that there's a lot to do, but there's something about being able to pull the blankets back and get the pillows ready and brushing my teeth. It's like all of these are my little rituals to get me ready for bed. And last night I went to bed so early. I was so tired. I was in bed by 7:30. I just couldn't stay awake, and I do not like taking naps. I don't know what it is about naps. I know some people love them. They feel disruptive to me. And I don't like falling asleep on the couch. Again, I know some people love that. I do not like the feeling of falling asleep on the couch and then having to roust myself to get into bed. So when I feel myself starting to go to sleep or getting really sleepy, I just go right to bed. And I might stay on my phone for a little while or do something, but I'm already horizontal and I'm already in bed. So whenever I feel sleep coming upon me, I can just float off. That's my strategy. So I invite you to contemplate what works best for you if you have a sleep strategy that works for you, and to honor it. And then, of course, there are the angels. Always the angels with everything that I do. I love their presence. I love their compassion and their light and their love. And I always feel so grateful for an opportunity to share them with you. And whether or not you believe in the angels, it's okay. Like whatever you believe is good. It's fine. And maybe if angels aren't your thing, you can contemplate this maybe from a place of a storybook, yes, or a dream, just something sweet and hopeful and light-filled for you. So I'm going to invite the angels to join us. I love sharing the ritual with you. So I invite you to take a deep breath in and out, and we'll gently call ourselves forward into the heart of God. And beautiful angels on high, I invite you to join us here. I'm so grateful for your presence, for your love, for your goodness. And I ask that you infuse this broadcast with waves of love in service to each of our beloveds hearing this message. Whenever and wherever they are, when they attune to this broadcast, please infuse their lives with love. Please lift anything that feels heavy or like a burden, helping to lift our fears, helping us to see clearly, to gain altitude, to see ourselves in our wholeness, in our preciousness. So dear ones, just take some nice deep breaths in and out, and just imagine, visualize, allow it to be so, that your angels are filling the space that you're in with a beautiful, soft, pink light. And this light is filled with love that has been calibrated just for you. Your angels know what is present in your heart and what is happening in your life. And so they come to you now with healing light and sparks of inspiration to support you. And so just breathe, allowing this light to flow to you now. And this light is generous and it is expansive. And this light flows to everything that you love, everyone that you love. You don't have to worry about sending it somewhere. The angels know what is in your heart, and they send this love as directed by the language of your heart and soul. The angels also want you to know how very precious you are in this world, that you are one of the ways that God's love flows through. That's something they say at Agape Spiritual Center. Reverend Michael Beckwith says, you are one of the ways that God's love is made visible on the planet. I love that, so I share that with you. Through you, God's love is made visible. You are someone who values kindness. You are someone who, more often than not, hopes for goodness for other people. I say more often than not because it's not as expected that we are always generous and pure of heart. We're human beings and we are blessedly imperfect. But the truth of your spirit is you are somebody who values kindness and generosity of spirit. And the angels know this about you. And they bring you blessings of love and light. And they seek to uplift you and support you in coming into alignment with the beauty and magic of your authentic being. So just take a deep breath in and just release. Release whatever there is to be released, whatever your it is. Just let it go for now. You can always pick it up again later. You can ask the angels to carry it for you. When something feels too heavy, I'll ask the angels for help. And you can ask the angels for help whenever you are guided. How can the angels support you right now? What do you need? No request is too big or small. All you have to do is speak to your angels in your mind and your heart. You don't have to observe any kind of ritual or specific prayer. You can even just say, hey, angels, hey, guys, I could use some help down here. The angels love supporting you because when you ask for help, you give them permission to come more closely to you and support you. So let's just do a collective, hey, angels, help. Help in ways that are known and unknown. Help bring in more grace. Help give us altitude. Help us connect with sparks of inspiration and activate our beautiful creative spirits and our potential and our prosperity and our well-being, and feel free to add whatever you want to our list that we are manifesting. And most of all, know that you are loved and you are precious. And we are so profoundly grateful for the gift of you. When I say we, I mean the angels and I. I am so grateful for the gift of you, even if we've never met, because somehow you found your way here. I can feel the energy of our collective audience and myself as these molecules of love go out into the world. So what a blessing it is in this moment to share this light with you. You beautiful, precious soul, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I'm grateful for the gift of you. Thank you for the gift that you are. So this is the part of the broadcast where I invite you to cozy on up and snuggle on in. And if this is your bedtime, to give yourself permission to drift off. That you have done enough for this day, even if you don't believe that's true. You've done enough. And tomorrow's another day. But for now, you get to go into that great mystery of sleep. And your angels will be with you. It's an opportunity to release, to replenish, restore, all those great re-words, right? So you drift off when you're ready. And if you're awake and operating heavy machinery, please stay awake. You know the drill, right? If you're meant to be awake, stay awake. If you're meant to fall asleep, go to sleep. I know you don't really need me to say that. I'm a little punchy as I record this, so we're going to move on over into story time. I love story time. So you rest well. The angels are going to stay with you. And we're going to go into our story time segment. So it just so happens that this episode is going to be published on Valentine's Day, 2024. So I'm 61 years old, and I've had a long relationship with Valentine's Day. Perhaps you have too. And I seem to recall I have recorded some of these stories before, but I was looking for them and I don't know where they are. And I just posted a replay with the last episode and I didn't want to do another replay. So if I can't remember if I've shared these stories, perhaps you don't remember either. So I'm going to share some of my Valentine stories with you. And I have Trader Joe's February Fearless Flyer, which is sure to contain something Valentine's related. So let's give it a go. So the first story I want to share with you is my first awareness of Valentine's Day. I must have been maybe 6 or 7 years old. At the time, my sister and I shared a room. My sister's 2 years younger than me. And is it me or I? Me. Oh my God, I hear my mother in my head. She was very grammar appropriate. And the story has to do with my mom. And I wake up. My mom wakes us up. And my mom says, "Happy Valentine's Day," or something like that. I don't remember exactly what she said. But she told us it was Valentine's Day and she had presents for us. This is why I remember I got a present. I don't remember what my sister got, but my present, now remember this is the late 60s, was a pink suede belt that had hearts cut out on it. And the style of the day were bell bottoms and like a peasant shirt and a super cool belt with a big buckle. Well, I tell you, I loved this belt, and it had hearts. And that's when I learned that Valentine's Day was about hearts and love. So my first tangible memory about Valentine's Day was that morning when my mom woke us up and I got my pink belt with hearts. And there's even a picture of me somewhere. Super cool. My hair in braids and peasant shirt and my little chunky hips, trying to do the hip hugger thing, which was never a fashion for me with my body shape, even back then. But I loved my belt. And I came to have a very complicated relationship with Valentine's Day, as I think most of us do. Talk about a holiday with a lot of pressure, like a pressure cooker situation, even as a kid. I don't know how they do Valentine's Day anymore in schools, but I'll tell you what it was like for me as a kid. I do remember somewhere, maybe kindergarten or first grade, we made Valentines for our moms. Never for our dads. God bless our dads. We really never made anything for them. This was the late 60s. The moms got all the glory. And I think our teacher started us off with heart-shaped doilies. You guys know what doilies are, right? A paper doily that you put down, on a tray before you put cookies on it. I don't know that anybody uses doilies anymore other than caterers, but it involved a heart-shaped doily. And I don't know that it came heart-shaped or if the teacher, God bless her, just cut them into heart shapes for us because we were in kindergarten or first grade and we only had access to safety scissors. And then we had to glue the doily onto a piece of construction paper. Again, the wonder of construction paper. And of course it was red because it was Valentine's Day. And then we had like these little beads. They weren't worried about choking hazards at that point in time. And I just remember they were little beads that we would then glue on top of the doily. And I suppose someone taught us to write, "I love you, Mom," or something like that. Here's why I know this happened. Because my mom kept it forever. I remember years later, my mom always had this box of photos and treasures under her bed, and so every once in a while we would go through it, and I remember seeing that. So that happened. There was the Valentine's Day doily card I made for my mother at some point in my early childhood. So there's the pink belt, and there's the doily Valentine that I crafted for my mother as a child. And then I came of the age where we gave Valentines to each other in class. So the way it worked is you would go to, I don't know, like a five and dime store. We didn't have Targets back then. So Montgomery Ward's, Sears, somewhere we would go. Ben Franklin was our five and dime in Skokie. And you would buy a box of Valentines. And it would come with, 25 Valentines. But the thing is that not all the Valentines were the same. There would always be a theme, like you'd have Scooby Doo Valentines, or Josie and the Pussycats Valentines. And there would be different sizes. So there would be like 2 or 3 big ones, and then some medium ones, and then small ones. So there was always this political strategy, even as a child, who gets the big ones? Well, in my world, the most popular girls did. So, I'm not going to say her name, but she is very present in my mind right now. And she always got the biggest Valentine. And maybe the second most popular girl got the second biggest Valentine. And then the people I didn't like would get the teeny tiny Valentines. And you kind of knew where you were in the hierarchy of the pack based on the Valentines you got. And we didn't write messages like, I love you, or you're awesome. We would just write our names. Laurel. So, I don't have strong memories of what size Valentines I got. I'm quite sure I never got the big ones. I dwelled in the medium to small Valentine part of the social structure. That my girlfriends would give me the medium ones. I don't know that they would have given me the big ones. That would have been kind of breaking protocol. I wasn't in the hierarchy of the biggest Valentine strata. I definitely was worthy of the medium-sized in many of my friendships. And probably the boys gave me the small ones because, they're boys. And I didn't have much use for them back then. I never, ever would have given a boy a medium one. They all got the small ones from me because I'm a kid, right? What do I know? So I really remember the social implications of Valentine's back then. And I don't recall that it was something we felt badly about. I wasn't self-aware enough to know, oh, they only gave me a small Valentine. It wasn't about my place in the world. It was about paying tribute to other people. I don't know how to express that. That sounds so deep, but I don't have any Valentine trauma around that process as a kid. So all I can tell you is I carry no sorrow, no sadness, no self-awareness of my own experience of receiving Valentines through that process. Somebody else might have it. But I do remember the most popular girls got the biggest Valentines and the boys got the smallest one. So I think when, as a kid, if I got small Valentines, they were almost always from boys or girls I didn't like, and I didn't care. I knew my place in the world. I belonged in this place. And I was good with it. And I was friends with the popular girls, but I wasn't a big Valentine person. It didn't fit into the big Valentine hierarchy. And I could accept that. That was okay. I still went over to her house to play. We were friends. We were good friends. We used to play together all the time. Because at that age, it's all about who do you play with. And I would go to her house to play, and she would come over to my house to play, and we would go to each other's birthday parties. So I could accept that she got the big Valentine. Of course she did. She was who she was. So, fascinating, the consciousness of kids, right? So, that went on for a couple of years. And I still can remember the strategy of first off picking what Valentines you were going to buy at the store. And they always came in kind of a flimsy cardboard box. And there would be a variety of Valentines in them. So again, if it's Scooby Doo, there'd be a Shaggy one. There'd be one of the van. There would be different Valentines. And I would sit at the table strategizing who got what. And I think you had to give a Valentine to everybody so that nobody was left out. And we would go around the room putting the Valentines on everybody's desks. That's what I remember. I don't know that they do that anymore, but that was my childhood memory of Valentine's Day at school. So, as a child, I have very sweet memories of Valentine's Day. It was about those awful candy hearts. We'd almost always get a present from our mom. We didn't necessarily have the pressure to get her a present at that point. We were kids. We didn't go shopping. And then there was the kids part at school. And often there would be snacks of some kind, yes? Because when there's a party, you get candy or cupcakes or Hawaiian punch, as we have talked about before. So great day, right? You don't have to necessarily do schoolwork. You get Valentine's. You get some sort of sweet treat. You get to hang out with your friends and play. Fantastic holiday. Until at some point, as I got older, Valentine's Day became about couples. I can't tell you exactly when that happened, but at some point, Valentine's Day became awful. I hate Valentine's Day because, so of course I'm married now, so I have my person, but I think I only had a boyfriend for maybe 2 Valentine's Day of my adult life until I met Wes. Somehow my dating life would hopscotch Valentine's Day. And I grew up, I came of age is probably a better word, where Valentine's Day mattered. What your boyfriend or girlfriend or partner bought you for Valentine's Day mattered. It was very symbolic of how much you were loved. I was a very different person back then. It would be, how big is the Valentines? Did you get flowers and candy? Did they buy you jewelry? Did they take you out for a nice dinner? It was very much a rewards-based holiday. And if you didn't have a Valentine's, it was a day where it just was so apparent, I don't have anybody. As coworkers are getting flowers delivered to their office and they're talking about, he's taking me out to such and such restaurant. And I'd be like, I got nothing. I'm just going to eat some of these, awful candy hearts because that's all I got are these awful conversation hearts. And I'll probably just go eat a piece of cake or something. So for a long, dark period, I hated Valentine's Day because it was a holiday about contrast. You either had your person or you didn't. Valentine's is for lovers, right? It's a holiday for lovers and love and for symbolic gestures so that everybody around you knows how loved you are. So, wasn't a big fan of Valentine's Day, being single and alone. But I do remember at some point, I would say it was the 80s, late 80s, I had I called it a Valentine's dinner for orphans, which is a really bad way of calling it. I wouldn't use that language today. But what I meant is, it was a Valentine's dinner for all of my single friends. A brilliant idea. And I just remember I must have had, 8 people over or something. They were friends from work. And I made a meal. I don't remember what I cooked, which is highly unusual. I always remember things. But in all likelihood, it was probably my chicken pesto pasta, because I was famous for making that back then. I'll give you the recipe. It wasn't my recipe. A chef at a restaurant told me how to make it. It's really easy. You get chicken and you make it with like cilantro and garlic, and so it's an Italian dish. So Italian seasonings kind of thing, but cilantro and crushed red peppers. And then you buy pesto, because of course I didn't know that you could make it back then, so I would buy Trader Joe's pesto at the time, and sun-dried tomatoes in olive oil, and bow tie pasta, and lots of Parmesan cheese. Delicious. Some garlic bread, probably made a Caesar salad. I don't know that that's what I made, but that's how I cooked back then. And I think I may have done that for 1 or 2 years. It was a great idea. And then, again, just Valentine's Day was, who cares? I don't care. Here's the thing that's so interesting, is once I met Wes, it didn't matter. You don't just celebrate my birthday. You don't just do something special for their anniversary. Like our anniversary, I always forget. Valentine's Day doesn't mean anything to me because I have Wes. Every day is awesome with him. Like, it's a celebration every day. I don't need a special day for him to show me how much I matter to him. I don't need jewelry. I don't need a card. I don't want cut flowers. I don't need chocolate anymore. I don't need anything. He comes home at the end of the day and we hang out, and I am happy. So once I actually became a bona fide couple, Valentine's Day lost all its power over me. I was like, yeah, I don't care. We're not going to go out on Valentine's Day. Are you kidding? We don't want to be out with that many people, even before COVID. So we're not the kind of couple that gives each other cards. If I see something he likes, I'm going to get it for him. Not because it's his birthday, but because I love him. And it's a Tuesday. So all the kind of benchmark holidays that I used to think would be really important in a relationship don't mean anything. I don't care. I don't mean that in a bad way. I more mean that every day is a wonderful day. I don't need a special day to call attention to love. I live my life in love. In love with Wes, in love with my life, in love with you. Every day is awesome. I mean, it's not, you get what I mean though, metaphorically, right? And then I wasn't sure I was going to share this because I don't know. I guess I will because I need to honor it. So it was right around this time in 2019 that my mom died, and we had her funeral on Valentine's Day. So I don't say that to you to sound really sad about it. There was something really beautiful about Valentine's Day being devoted to my mom. My first Valentine's Day memory was my mom and the pink belt. So that we did our celebration of life on Valentine's Day was profoundly meaningful. So now, forever, Valentine's Day belongs to my mom. And it's not a sad day. I don't associate it. I know we all hold our grief differently. I'm 5 years out. And so it's not a day of grief for me. It's a day of deep, deep love and connection with my mom. So that's why earlier when I made the stumble over my words and I was like, did I use the right grammar? And I felt my mom come in. I just thought that was so lovely. And it's not that my mom was hardcore. It's just that, I don't know, that was a mom moment. I was like, did I say that right, Mom? And I love my mom so much, and I'm so lucky I had a wonderful mom and have a wonderful mom now in heaven. And even though Jews don't believe in heaven, you know what I mean, beyond the veil. And although I believe in heaven. So Valentine's Day now for me is a day to be in loving connection with my mom, as it should be, because she was the first person to introduce me to the love of Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, or Valentine's night, or happy June 3rd, whenever you're listening to this. I send you the biggest Valentines in the box. I want you to know that if we were in school, I would make sure you got the biggest Scooby Doo Valentine. Even if I had to go and buy extra Valentines, you would get the biggest Valentines in my box, because you're awesome. And I would give you some of those chalky conversation hearts too, because you have to have them on Valentine's Day. I mean, not anymore. I'm really talking more if we were kids. I haven't had one of those things in easily 30 years. So these days, when Valentine's Day rolls around, I just feel so badly for everyone who feels the pressure of it. You know, the stores that capitalize on it, and the commercials, and I think, oh my gosh. But I thought perhaps I could bring some lightness of spirit to this by going through the February 2024 Trader Joe's Fearless Flyer with you. It's a thin edition, so I think we can get through it in our remaining time together. I love Trader Joe's. And if you're not in the U.S., you've probably heard of it. It is a grocery store we have here, and they sell their own merchandise for the most part. And it is a staple here. I love Trader Joe's. I'm there at least once a week. So, on the cover, it has everything's coming up roses and tulips and more. So if you're buying flowers for Valentine's Day, right, we're already started in the pressure. You could buy them anywhere, but why break the bank? And Trader Joe's, just so you know, has always has a great selection of fresh flowers. You know what's weird though? I do not like fresh flowers. Isn't that weird? I don't like that they die. Like, they're pretty and then they die. And I don't like that. So I'm not a cut flower girl. I love flowers in the garden that are living, but I'm not a big fan of cut flowers unless it's a bouquet for a wedding or something. Then they're beautiful. But in my home, I don't bring in cut flowers on purpose. Okay, they have this new thing, and I don't usually drink sparkling water. I don't drink much carbonation anymore, but this sounds really good. Black cherry vanilla sparkling water. I saw this there the other day, and I thought, maybe I should just get a can. It sounds really delicious. It's a new flavor. It's unsweetened, and you can mix it with some juice, or they say you can garnish it with a slice of a cara orange, which is a great variety of orange, by the way. So maybe I'll get a can, and I'll report back to you about it. But I'm not going to buy a 6-pack, because I would never drink that much. There is a new flavor of their JoJo's, which is their version of the Oreo. So this is a cinnamon bun-inspired JoJo. So it's made with the same cookie plus cream plus cookie construction. But this one has a cinnamon-y, great word, cinnamon-y addition to the lineup. Swaps out the chocolate cookies for a pair made with wheat and graham flour, so graham crackers. and a vanilla cream filling inside. So here's my philosophy on all of those kinds of variety of sandwich cookies. Now, I don't eat sugar anymore, so I'm not their market. But when I did, I really just wanted the regular chocolate and vanilla one. I didn't need different flavors. But that's just me. I would, even if I ate sugar, I would not buy these. But that's me. I don't need a different flavor profile because the original flavor profile is perfection as far as I'm concerned. They have a new salad kit. Now, I'm a big fan of salad kits. I get the Mediterranean Taylor salad kit all the time. This is an avocado ranch salad kit. I looked at it and I wasn't sure if I wanted it, so I haven't gotten it yet. But it has all of the crisp greens and the cabbage and carrots, all that good stuff. And then the ranch dressing is made with buttermilk and avocados. Maybe I'll try it. I'm not sold on it. Then, for those of you that do eat chocolate and sugar, they have chocolate cheesecake bites. Well, that sounds good. Oh, this sounds good. So, I think it's fiocchetti, Fiocchetti, fiocchetti with pink sauce. So, originally named for their resemblance to bundles tied with thread, fiocchetti are like little bundles of cheesy joy. Well, I love cheesy joy. Okay, I'm in. For this all-in-one frozen entree, our Italian supplier fills bite-sized pouches of eggy pasta with ricotta, taleggio, and mozzarella cheese, and then cooks up a luxurious cream and tomato pink sauce. The sauce is portioned into convenient little pucks and flash frozen, along with the fiocchetti, so preparation on your end couldn't be simpler. Well, that sounds delightful. Okay, I'm going to get that. I'll try that. I'll let you know. They then have shishito peppers, which I do not have a relationship with spicy food, so I would not get those. And I'm sure I've mentioned to you before that this whole evolution of our culinary palate, especially here in the US, now that it's very much geared towards spicy food, I feel so out of the loop because I can't eat that stuff. So everything is jalapeno and ghost pepper and I can't eat that stuff. So, for instance, they have roasted hatch chili and jalapeno cheese dip, which I'm not going to go near. And actually, this just happened to me at the farmer's market. So there's a vendor called Hummus Heaven, great name, and I get their bean salad, their beet salad, and usually a hummus. So I get 3 containers of things from them. And I use the beet salad and the bean salad in my other salad for more flavor. And I asked for their spinach feta hummus, which is delicious. And I got home and they gave me the spinach feta jalapeno hummus, which I can't really eat. I was so sad. I'm not mad or anything. He's a good guy. He just grabbed the wrong container. And I only see him once a week, so there's not really anything I can do about it except give it away to somebody else. But I was really looking forward to my hummus, but I can't eat that stuff. So there you go. I'll send you some virtual spinach feta jalapeno hummus if you would like. And then they have double cream Gouda and double cream brie. Okay, both of those sound amazing. And as I've shared with you before, I am the only one in our house that eats cheese like this. And there's no way I can bring in a big hunk of any of these, because then I will eat it. But if you were coming over and I was going to do some kind of charcuterie board, which I haven't ever really done, but if I was going to do that, I would buy these cheeses so we could have them. And, cheese shared has less calories, right? When you eat just a little bit of cheese on a cracker, even if you eat 20 of them, it doesn't count. It's like Costco samples. They don't count. So, if you were coming over, I would get us great cheese, unless you're a vegan, and then I would get other delicious things that you could eat, because I would want to make sure you're happy. They are featuring several raspberry desserts, including a shortbread sandwich cookie with raspberry filling, which I almost bought for Wes because he likes jam-filled things and he loves shortbread. I should probably just get them for him. I bet he would love them. It is definitely a Wes kind of cookie. And if I was eating sugar, I would love them too, but I don't. So there you go. And usually I don't go for fruity desserts. They have a raspberry mousse cake, which even if I was eating sugar, I would not opt for that. I would look for a chocolate dessert instead. So typically I don't go for the fruity desserts. Well, I guess I do sometimes. But the raspberry mousse cake would not be the flavor profile. I would go for a mousse cake. I would definitely opt towards the chocolate end of the spectrum. They have a fruits and greens smoothie blend. And I can't handle fruit juice or veggie juice anymore. I have a juicer. My stomach's weird. I do smoothies every morning, but I know what's in them. But I can't get any sort of store-bought stuff like that anymore. But it sounds delicious to me. And then they have 5 pounds of grapefruit. I used to love grapefruit and pomelos. Again, I can't really eat them anymore. And then they have their marvelous, magnificent oats. So that's another staple in our house. I love overnight oats. And so I always have a big tub of overnight oats. It's not really that big. It's maybe a cup and a half. Made it sound like it's 5 gallons. So I take a cup of their oats, Trader Joe's oats. I always have bags on hand. And 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. A bunch of raisins. Like raisins are the key. And then I use some sugar-free pudding powder. So I usually do a 1/2 tablespoon of the sugar-free vanilla powder from the pudding mix. And then a 1/2 tablespoon of the pistachio sugar-free pudding. I love pistachio flavored things. And I mix that up. And then I also put in maybe a tablespoon of honey, like a little bit of honey. And then milk. So you can either use cow's milk or cashew milk, like whatever kind of milk you like. And you fill it up so that it's over the oats, so that there's more than you need. And you stir it up and you put it in the fridge, or I put it in the fridge overnight, and it's delicious. And what I love about it is, when I'm kind of hungry or I'm in between sessions and I just need something, I can eat a little bit of it. I don't ever eat the whole container at once. I eat just a few spoonfuls, and it's delicious, and I love it. So, yay to the magnificent, marvelous oats from Trader Joe's. It's actually Marvelous Magnificent Oats. Well, I don't think that's the name of it. That's just the title of this article. They also have black garlic cream cheese. Okay, it sounds good. I would want a little bit of it to try it. I do not think I could eat a whole tub of it. But I do love cream cheese. Well, of course I do. I'm a Jewish girl from Skokie. Love cream cheese. It's a brilliant invention. They also have chocolate almond biscotti. Sounds great. Again, won't eat it, but sounds delicious. They have garlic and black pepper almonds. Again, wouldn't get those. Although I will say there were garlic and black pepper pistachios that I loved, so I might like that flavor profile, but I typically don't buy nuts. I love nuts, but, I can eat a whole bag, and that is never a good idea for somebody with weight issues. They have something called sweet and salty umami crunchies. Sounds like a great idea. I wonder what that is. I might have to go and look at those. Dried sweetened green mango. Oh, it's tart. Okay, well, that's why I wouldn't get it. I like the super sweet dried mangoes. They've got the Cara Cara navel oranges and also the sumo citrus. I bought a sumo citrus hoping I could eat it, and I couldn't. It was too tart for me. It's not that it's a tart fruit, but I don't do well with acidic food anymore. I did have a little taste of a Cara Cara orange at the farmer's market, and it was delicious, but again, I couldn't eat a whole one. They have organic hummus, and their hummus is really good at Trader Joe's. I just happened to be at the farmer's market and got it there. They have cinnamon sugar almonds. Sounds lovely. Wouldn't get them, but sounds delicious. Then we have the Trader Joe's crossword puzzle, which I'm going to skip over, but it is here. If you would like to do it, go to your local Trader Joe's and get the Fearless Flyer, and there will be a wonderful crossword puzzle for you. And then to wind up, we have fusilli in pink. So they've got Trader Joe's organic fusilli corti bucati pasta, translated short little spindles with holes. And then they also have Trader Joe's Rosatella pasta sauce, which looks really good. It's like a pink cream sauce. But, we don't really eat a lot of pasta around here. They have papadums, which I've looked at. I haven't gotten them. But it's a chip derived from lentils and chickpeas. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll give those a try. And then they have strawberries and flakes cereal, which I'm sure is delicious. Wes and I used to really like they have the Trader Joe's version of Cheerios called Trader O's. And they have a really yummy strawberry Trader O's cereal that we used to eat as a snack, which I haven't bought in years. So I love that they have all these pink foods for us for February. So thank you for letting me send you Valentine's Day love whenever you are listening to this, whether it's Valentine's Day or not, that I get to send you some love and share some lovely, sweet memories with you and share a little tour of Trader Joe's Fearless Flyer with you. I was so happy when I went into the store and saw that they had it available. I thought, oh, good, I get to share that on the podcast. So I wish you the sweetest of dreams. I send you blessings of love. And I am so deeply grateful for the gift of you. Thank you for allowing me to keep you company. I'm really grateful. Thank you.